Hello. Hi. Good evening, everyone. We will wait together for a few minutes, just so that more of us can gather here. Let's wait until 5 past. Thank you for coming. Hello. There's more of us gathering. Like I said, we'll be waiting till 5 past so that there's enough of us to get started. Hello. Thank you for joining. We will wait until 5 past for more people to come. Okay, I think we can slowly get started. It's 7:05 where I am. Um, Welcome to everyone who has joined us today, and thank you very much for coming. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to you about Forward College. This specific webinar is about life as an international student at Forward. We have one current student and two alumni, including myself, here to tell you what the experience is firsthand. I'll briefly introduce myself. My name is Kasia Dzewinska. I am a recruitment and admissions officer here at Forward College, and I've also graduated from this university myself, its first cohort. We also have with us Johanna and Angela, so I'll allow them to introduce themselves. Please go ahead.
Yes, hello everyone. So my name is Angela. I'm currently a third year student at Ford College, and I'm actually based in Berlin, which is the building right behind me. I'm currently doing the double bachelor's in business management, business and leadership, and I'm happy to answer all the questions you may have about Ford College and life at Forward. Oh, and I'm Kenyan.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joanna. I'm originally from Spain. I'm like Hasha, we're both from the same cohort. We're part of the first forward cohort. After graduation, I started working at L'Oreal. I'm still working at L'Oreal here in Germany, and it's really super nice to see you all and looking forward to get to know more about you.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
I suppose we can get started with a short video that will introduce you to the broad concept of what Forward College is, and then we'll get into more details step by step. So, yes, let's play that. Can you hear
No.
the audio? No.
Mm-mm.
Our
Maybe you
teaching
need to
methods
unmute
are
you.
different from those found in traditional degree courses. They are engaging, interactive, and personalized. Whether in economics, data science, politics and international relations, business and management, or psychology, our bachelor's degrees are designed by the London School of Economics or King's College London and accredited by the University of London. Our programs are taught in small classes, averaging just 15 students. Additionally, students are supported through one-on-one tutoring, helping them to excel in their exams. Our students' commitment goes beyond their academic bachelor's. As part of our leadership program, students will deliver impact projects via teamwork and collaboration. Working on a social and environmental impact project in year one, designing a digital solution in year two, and consulting for international organizations in year three. Over the course of the 3 years, students will enhance their social and emotional intelligence, as well as their leadership skills through our personal development program. It includes training in inclusive communication, networking, stress management, and negotiation. These skills are key in supporting students as well as their academic success, professional career, personal life, and well being in the years to come. So, if you're ready to embark on the next step of your journey, we can't wait to hear from you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for playing that. The way we talk about Forward College usually is that it really can be summarized best in terms of four main pillars. We focus on delivering very high quality education through our partnership with top British universities, as well as our own bachelor's degrees. The second pillar would be our high quality teaching that differs significantly from traditional universities in multiple ways, including that our classes are capped at 15 students, that they're highly interactive. We call them seminars as we don't subscribe to lectures. And students can take advantage of frequent one-on-one tutoring and the mentorship of their professors. Thirdly, Forward College also offers a leadership program where students can practice their entrepreneurship skills, their soft skills, public speaking, teamwork, etc. And the fourth pillar, this is the one we'll be focusing on throughout this webinar tonight. It is its international dimension. Forward College takes place not in one place, but in 3 different countries over 3 years. Students study in first year in Lisbon, Portugal. In the second year, they're in Paris, France. And in the third, they're in Berlin, in Germany. Those 3 capitals is where they are, where the university is located. And the cohorts are largely international. So I will allow our co-hosts to delve into those aspects, please.
Yeah, so I will be taking you through the journey that we three went through when we were at Ford. Well, I'm currently at Ford. So the first European city you start with is Lisbon. So first year is in Lisbon for the entire cohort. Second year will be in Paris, and then third year will be in Berlin. So as mentioned before, in all 3 cities, there's dedicated learning centers for Ford College students, and they're all largely unique, as you can see from the pictures above. And we have loads and loads of nationalities here at Ford. So first year in Lisbon, which tends to be people's favorite city, As you can see, there's our learning center Soriano. So in Lisbon, there's usually two separate learning centers. One is Soriano, which students absolutely love. There's usually free coffee, there's dedicated co-working spaces, and it's super sunny in Lisbon. Usually the weather isn't that bad. The winter isn't as harsh. So students tend to love it a lot. As you can see, there's a patio as well. We also have a dedicated meditation room in case you wanna read in silence or have a little nap during the day. Then our second learning center, which is about 5 minutes away from the other learning center, is Flores, which is actually in Baixo Chiado, which is literally in the center of Lisbon. So as you can see, it's quite unique in how it's built. It's not like your typical university. It's such a unique space that takes into consideration Portuguese architecture, and I love that about the space. As you can see, it's quite different. There's dedicated co-working spaces as well, and it's literally 10-minute walk from the other learning center. And we also have a co-working space, which is about 30 minutes from the learning centers that you've seen in the previous slides. So this co-working space is where we would hold dinner sometimes, or we would sometimes even use it for revision during exam periods. It's right next to the Gior accommodation, which Ford usually recommends for students to get. And it's very convenient because it's downstairs from the accommodation, so you don't need to worry about commuting or anything. It's a beautiful space, and we made loads and loads of memories in this co-working space, which is really great. As you can see, this was my cohort actually, and we were celebrating a month someone's birthday, I think, because at Ford we have a birthday tradition where every month we celebrate birthdays in general. So we would have such memorable events in the co-working space, which was really cool. This is the student residence I was talking about, Gior. And essentially you have your own bathroom. You can choose to have your own kitchen or have a shared kitchen. And this is how the room would look like. It has great views of Lisbon, so I usually highly recommend it for students. Student life in Lisbon, I would say, is fun, vibrant, and what other word would I use? Probably adventurous. Everyone who comes to Lisbon comes in with like an open mindset, and they're not biased towards anyone. I would say that students in Ford are generally open to meeting people from all over the world. Even from the co-hosts, as you can see, we're literally from different countries, and we've had such a unique experience coming to Ford. As you can see, we also have different clubs. So we have surfing, there's netball, there's yoga by the beach. So you can try all these cool activities in Lisbon, and it's a plus that the weather is really great. So highly recommend it. So the cost of living in Lisbon is as stated below. This is obviously a rough estimate. So as you can see, private health insurance, public transportation passes, groceries. So again, this depends from person to person. Sometimes some people may spend more, others may spend less. It really depends on your lifestyle, but this is kind of like a rough estimate for you to use as a basis for your financial planning. Next, we move to Paris, which I absolutely loved. So this is our space in Paris. This is where our learning center was based. This is at Cité Universitaire. A really amazing space. We had about 42 different accommodations here at Cité Universitaire, and there's loads of colleges as well. So it's very campus-like and gives off that vibe. We had great spaces for learning. As you can see, the classrooms are quite small and cozy, perfect for 15 students. And the library, which was my favorite spot to study, was amazing because it was free for students who lived in Cité Universitaire. So highly recommend you to live at Cité University when you join Ford College. The library was actually a tourist attraction. So sometimes when I was studying, people would walk in, take pictures because it looks amazing. It's very beautiful and it's very old as well. So people loved that vibe about it. And we also have a lot of sports facilities at Cité Universitaire, which again, if you live in campus, is discounted for students. There's loads and loads of students living there, not just Ford students. We have students from all over the world who come into France to study. And it was a great space to network, not just with students in Forward, but students outside of Forward as well. As you can see, we had a swimming pool as well, which was really great. This was one of the student residences at the Cité Universitaire. Highly recommend it. It was super great. And generally, student life in Paris is very vibrant, same as Lisbon. I would say the only difference is in Paris, our campus is more typical university like compared to Lisbon, because in Paris you're now exposed to way more students and it's a very vibrant city. There's way more tourists, literally every time of the year, every time period of the year. But we had so much fun. I mean, not just seeing the Eiffel Tower, but also boat rides at the River Seine and having picnics during the summer, and generally just connecting and networking with people outside of Forward. I think that's one aspect that stood out for me in Paris. So we have another table here which shows the cost estimates for living in Paris. Again, we also have this on our website. So if you'd like to maybe read this in detail, you can find this on our website. This is rough estimates of what you should expect to use or how much you should expect to spend at Forward College in Paris. Again, it's plus or minus depending on your lifestyle. Moving on to Berlin, right behind me, which is where I'm currently based. So our learning center is at CIC, which is the Cambridge Innovation Center. It's an amazing co-working space based here in Berlin. And I loved CIC. Well, I still do love CIC because it is a co-working space in which founders and entrepreneurs are based in as well. So not just Forward College. So this is a great way for you to be exposed to the job market. So seeing how what you learn in theory translates to the market and how people are able to take what they learned at university and actually put it into practice into real life. By speaking to all these founders and entrepreneurs in the space, you kind of build your network, which is a great way to again foster that network that you would need post Forward. This is the space as well downstairs. Again, we also have free coffee, which I love. Plus, especially during exam season, there's loads and loads of co-working spaces. I mean, spaces to work around here. And it's such an open space for students because we also have, I think, 2 or 3 other colleges based here. So again, you're exposed to a wider network of people. This is actually a photo taken at Venture Cafe, which is a night that's usually held, I think, twice or thrice every month, where founders basically come and pitch their ideas in front of everyone for about 5 to 10 minutes. And essentially, it's for them to kind of get input as to how they can improve their businesses, how they could improve their startups, and for people to kind of see what's going on in the innovation space. So again, this center is really cool for networking purposes, but also to see how what you're learning in class translates into the real world. And for a business student, well, in my case, for a business student, it's great because I get to actually network with people who have done business before and see what skills I could learn from them and what skills I could take from university that I could put into practice in real life. So this is one of the student accommodations here in Berlin. We have loads and loads of options. This is just one of them. Again, you could choose to get either a shared kitchen or your own kind of apartment. You could even get an apartment with friends, which I believe is what Johanna did as well. But yeah, it's really up to you. And student life in Berlin in general, super fun. Berlin is super vibrant. I mean, not just the party scene, but also the innovation scene. I mean, it's one of Europe's largest startup hubs. So it's absolutely amazing for someone who wants to network with people in the business space or in the entrepreneurship space. And it's also a great way for you to have fun. I mean, Berlin is really known for having great parties and amazing techno life. So highly recommend it. These are just a few pictures taken of students who were at Forward. Some of them have graduated. And yeah, that was Berlin, life in Berlin. This is another table that we have for the cost of living in Berlin. So again, this is for your own reference, plus or minus. And generally, I would say it's a good estimate. I would say that it's yeah, it's decent to use in case you're planning anything, and even just for students who may not be sure about how much they want to spend or how much they may need, feel free to go on our website, and all three costs are laid out on there. So this is the table with the cost of comparisons. As you can see, Paris tends to be a bit more on the expensive side as expected, but generally, yeah, this is again a rough estimate. Could be plus, could be minus, depends on your lifestyle. But yes, we do have this on our website in case you want to take any screenshots or have any questions. Yes, I will now hand over to Johanna.
Thank you, Angela. I'm super excited to talk about building relationships and how does it work at Forward. So one of the things that I was the most curious and more excited about joining Forward was building very meaningful relationships. So I am from Spain and I moved for the first time alone, and I also did it to another country. So I was very nervous and very stressed, and I wanted to make sure that what I was going to go through, I wasn't going to do it alone, and I was able to connect with other people that were going through the same thing as I was. And to make this transition, so from living at home with your family or from high school to university, there is a good support system built already at Forward. This is why you will start your first year with 2 weeks of activities to connect with others, but also to have, let's say, a smooth transition in terms of studying. And to this, we call it Induction Week, which is what you can see here in the slide, as well as a lot of pictures. There are so many activities. Some of them focus more on teamwork, on communication, or maybe how to study, but there is so many others that are way more focused on bonding with other people in the cohort, as well as really building these relationships that you really need and that everybody is looking to create. Based on the pictures here, my favorite, without a doubt, was the cooking competition. We actually, unfortunately, in the first cohort, we did not have the concert, but that one is also very fun. But I think in the cooking competition, it mixes everything with connections to also working in teams and really discover other people's personalities and also food taste, which was very interesting. Then if we go to the next slide. Yes, so here you can see a little bit about the support network at Forward. So this support network starts after you have been accepted, as you're able to access the digital campus. And there you have so much information, especially practical information that you need to settle into a new city. So obviously there is always guidance. You're never just thrown to a country and that's it. There is so much guidance. And like I said, after you have been accepted, you will be able to access all of this information. I think the greatest support for me, particularly, was having small classes with around 15 people and having the personal tutoring. I think this allowed me to be more efficient at the time of being in class. And actually, I think Kasia said it very nice, but we call it seminars, and it's for a reason. And I think you really take advantage of also the personal tutorials as well. There are obviously other tools put in place, like counseling if you need it, or also the big focus on personal development if this is something that you are interested in. Then if you can go to the perfect. While of course you're part of the Forward community, you can also learn more about the local community and the country that you're living in. So in this case, Lisbon for the first year. For of course, you have many different ways of engaging with the local communities. One of them, it's definitely where you're living in. I think Angela went through all the options, and there are so many options to choose from. And you're always involved with people that are not from Forward and that are actually local from the country that you're living in. But apart from that, you also have language classes every week. Which really helps you to, of course, you don't have to be fully fluent after those classes, but you can learn a bit more the basics and feel more comfortable at the time of engaging in the local community. I don't know, going for a coffee or going for groceries and being able to engage in the community this way. Then also for sure, one of the things that probably impacted me most in year one was the social impact project. I, for example, worked in a nonprofit that was super close from the learning center, and this really allowed me to connect with local people and see more about their culture, but also learn more about them, how they think, what are their problems, and all the challenges that they go through. And the most, I guess, that the fun part of connecting with the locals is the induction week video project. So this is essentially you all are put in groups and you're visiting a different parts of Lisbon. You do a video about it, but the idea here is you really connect and get to know this city that you, or this part of the city that you have assigned to you, but also really talk with Portuguese people and with locals from the city. And if we go to the next one, perfect. And another pillar of the forward experience is definitely the clubs and associations. You can see here so many examples. I guess a very popular one is the surf club, also the running club. I have heard so many about all of this. Me particularly, I was part of the debate club in year 3, and then the book club in year 1. But Angela, I would love to know, did you participate in any clubs? What did you do?
Yeah, so I was also part of the debating club. In fact, we had a Model United Nations here at Ford, which is still an active club. So we did have that in Paris. And surfing club, I think that's kind of like a must join for students when they go to Lisbon. I also did join there was a yoga club in Lisbon, which I really enjoyed. We used to go to yoga by the park, which is about 3 minutes from the student residence. So that was really cool. I was part of the Pilates club. And another club I did form with my friend was the journalism club. So I'm passionate about writing, and my friend and I decided to start the Forwarder, which was a student-run newspaper across all the 3 cohorts, and it's still a running club. So again, when you join Forward and you feel like you're passionate about something, you can literally just start a club. Obviously, get the numbers and ensure that people are willing to join and happy to support you. And Ford would be very happy to support you when you're forming that club. So highly recommend.
Yeah, and maybe something else about here, this kind of starts since induction week. So there is already, let's say, you start the process on discussing with others what type of clubs do you want to have. And usually, I think in the last few years, we also had a session on student clubs, putting people together. And like Angela said, there is support from Forward for sure. And it's a very fun part of being at Forward.
Yeah, so I think now we will move on to a video about graduation and what students like Johanna do post Ford College, and then we will hand over to Cassie right after.
If you could turn on the audio.
As transformational, enlightening, and amazing.
My experience at Forward was life-changing, incredible, and scary.
I think what I'll miss the most is the community at Forward. I'll also miss the traveling because I think I got quite used to it at the end.
I think I will miss all the people and the family that I've made out of all the international friends that have come together.
Since I graduated, I'm now moving to Poland to complete my internship at the Norwegian Embassy in Warsaw.
After this, I will start my new job at a sort of data startup called Zip. I also have master's sort of offers from BI, the Norwegian Business School, CBS in Copenhagen, and TUM in Munich. So I just need to figure out which one I want, and then I'll do my master's after this.
After Forward, now my plan is to continue at my internship, which I started right after my exams ended, actually. I'm doing product management at a carbon analytics and management company in Berlin. And I really like Berlin, so I really wanted to stay there as much as possible.
I'm going to London to work at the Great Ormond Street Hospital charity in the philanthropy department in the international fundraising.
After graduation, I'm going to start an internship at the Permanent Mission of Austria to the United Nations in New York.
I would tell future students to remember to try and enjoy as much as possible and really immerse yourself in the experiences that Forward gives you.
I would tell future students to just do it and take every opportunity that Forward gives you, because it really is building you this amazing, incredible future. So just take every opportunity that comes your way.
Don't be afraid. It might be scary at the beginning, but you'll need a more amazing support network. And you'll go through this journey together and are basically never alone. So there's no reason to worry at all.
Thank you both very much. I really enjoyed listening to you about your experiences, about your thoughts about these places. If I can add something before we get to the second brief part regarding admissions, I think that Forward College, to everybody who participates in it, is really an adventure of a lifetime. The academic part of this university is, of course, important. However, this international expedition provides young people with such vast personal growth. And so it's important to appreciate it, to plan how you are going to immerse yourself in the local cultures, meet the local people, learn the languages, appreciate the architecture and so forth. Because the academic years pass by in the blink of an eye. They do. And you don't want to look back and realize that you might have missed out on some parts. I will also like to add one point from the perspective of an interviewer. I regularly conduct interviews with the candidates to Forward College. I have been doing so for about 6 months, and I tend to ask our candidates the question, what do you think you'll find the most challenging if you were to join our university? The answer to that question is most often the transition, the first steps as I leave my home, often for the first time, and I find myself in a new country, not knowing anyone. I think I'll be so anxious and scared and possibly lonely. How will I navigate it? And luckily, I have quite an empowering answer for that, which tends to get students more excited than nervous, which is that all of the 150 people will be feeling the same as you. And I know this because that's what they tell me. So please, if you get the chance to join Forward College, do remember that you are each other's support system as well. The institution can give you a lot, but make those friendships from the start through empathizing with the person next to you, because they're also nervous and they're also going through it for their first time, and make beautiful memories after that.
I
But-
actually would love to
Yeah.
add something to that, because I'm like the best testimony for this. I was, and this is also what I tried to say earlier. I was so stressed about moving. I never lived alone. I was always with my mom at all times, and she also helped me to move in. And I remember being the first night in my new room, completely overwhelmed. And I can tell you that in 2 weeks, I felt like I was with my new family, that I was really with people that completely understood what I was going through. And even more specifically, I remember in November, I went back home for a few days. And I remember being in the airport crying because I was like, no, but I don't want to leave Lisbon. All my friends are here. So I can only agree to what Kasia just said. And I think the most important thing, it goes fast, so fast. You blink of an eye and you're already almost gone. I mean, even seeing Angela here for me, it's so crazy because you did your first conversation with me. So it's really yes, I think you need to enjoy it since the beginning. And I think they also said it in the graduation video, just do it.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Just before I hand it back over to you, I think I was super, super anxious before joining Forward because I had only been to Paris. I had never been to Lisbon or Berlin. So again, this is our webinar for international students, and for any international students who are listening who have never been to Lisbon, Paris, or Berlin, there's definitely going to be someone else who has never been to that city. But I think the beauty about Forward is its diversity and the way people are so open to getting to know you regardless of wherever you come from. I mean, I was so anxious because I was like, oh, are they gonna like be accepting of me? Are they gonna be happy to get to know more about me and my background? But having experienced and joined Forward, I'm glad I made that decision because I've made friends from all over the world. So again, don't be worried about where you come from or if people are gonna judge you, because people here are very open-minded and very open to even just getting to learn more about your background.
Super, super. You can see by our faces and hear from our tones just how beautiful we found this time at this university. So if you want to hear more about it, you are very welcome to chat with us afterwards. There'll be time for questions, or as you can see on the screen, also book a student conversation. This will be a chat that you book through our website with any current student that is attending Forward and ask them any sorts of questions that you need. So let's talk briefly about what happens if this if this webinar got you excited to apply. The thing I always say to prospective students is that our applications are free of charge, so definitely at least give it a shot. The first stage of applying to Forward College is very simple. You do it through our website, and the application form consists of the most up-to-date transcript of your grades, plus 2 short essays regarding your extracurriculars. In those essays, you would describe what you've done in the past, and you would also reflect on it. Write to us in human language. I'm one of the people who read those things, so it's always a pleasure to read something that has a narrative. I love great storytellers. Tell me, what has sparked your reflection through your extracurriculars? What you've learned, how you've grown, how have you failed in the past, and so forth. After you've submitted those elements, you will wait for a little bit. That'll be a few weeks until we might invite you to an interview. And that is 30 minutes spent with an admissions officer such as myself, whereby we talk person to person about those extracurriculars of yours, as well as motivations. And like I mentioned, what do you think you will find challenging, so that I can support you right off the bat in your potential fears before you join this university. As you wait for your interview, you're very welcome to book a student conversation through the website. And after the interview stage, you will wait a maximum of 2 weeks for our admissions committee to meet and discuss the totality of your application together to send you an offer. So 2 weeks after the interview, you can expect an answer from us regarding whether there's a place for you at this university. And fingers crossed every time. Our tuition fees, there will be separate seminars or webinars in which we will get into more detail about those, but they will depend on the programs that you take at Forward College, as well as whether you're an EU or non-EU applicant. I think we can pass, yes. And when it comes to who can apply to Forward College, it's essentially anyone from from any nation in the world. Some curricula might be more difficult. However, there are always standardized tests that you can take, or a year-long course at the University of London that you can take to catch up with your high school curriculum in order to become eligible for us. We take international high school systems and national high school systems just as well. And the condition is that you will have completed your high school degree. So when it comes to our admissions cycles, we divide them into 4 waves. And we are already on the 3rd wave now, which is ending on the 31st of March, meaning that we've received quite a few applications and we've filled up quite a few spots. So if you're intrigued by this university, please do make sure to apply as soon as you can, because I always hate to see a young person with good potential missing out on an opportunity like this. And we are also soon hosting an open day. So on the 28th of March, you'll be able to visit our Paris campus. And if you can't attend that date, then there's also an open day at the Paris campus on the 30th of May. It would be lovely to see as many people as it gets there. Okay, who will be coming to that open day? Our professors, our students, and our alumni. all there to talk to you and give you various perspectives on your university. And yes, like I mentioned before, you can always chat with one of our students and ask them insightful questions. When it comes to admissions specific questions, I am one of the people who are always very eager to receive an email or even a phone call and answer any concerns that you may have, any doubts. How to submit an application. If you're eligible, I can review your transcript and so forth. So please, this is my admissions team. You can reach out to any of us. And now it's time for questions. Please do have a chat with us. We're very, very open and very kind. Thank you for listening as well. You can, of course, either speak your questions out loud or write them in the chat. These could range from anything regarding our personal experiences, examples of how we've participated in local cultures or what classes look like. That's a very good question. So, Laura has asked if you can still be eligible if you don't meet the needed grades by a bit. Yes. So at Forward College, we emphasize the fact that our applicants are assessed holistically. Holistically meaning that grades are not the only criterion by which we evaluate your eligibility. There is a threshold specified for every national and international high school system. However, we are very understanding towards applicants who have not met that threshold because of either extenuating circumstances or because they have, for example, focused more on extracurricular activities. So if your application is outstanding otherwise in regard with regard to your things you've done outside of school, then definitely, please at least give it a shot. The answer is yes, you can still potentially be seen as eligible. Another thing on that note is that if you're applying for a data science degree, but your grade in high school from history, for example, is not excellent, we find it's not the most relevant. So if that example resonates with you, then again, give it a shot. And Magnus is asking when. When the statement prompts about extracurricular. Okay, so in the application form, there is a space to write a short essay regarding your extracurriculars, and the maximum word count or character count is 4,000. That's a very specific question, Magnus. I'm sorry. I actually don't know on the spot. Can you test it around and see how many fit? I apologize. I wish I had an answer for you. Super, super. Thank you. That's the spirit. That's exactly the spirit we're looking for. William, you're very welcome for today's session and thank you for attending. We're all very happy that you did. If it would be possible to send the course overview for the bachelor's in politics and international relations. Yes, okay. We have your email from where you signed up, so I'll look into that. I'll reply to you by email to that question, okay? That'll be tomorrow morning if you're fine with that. And what kind of activities are seen as extracurricular? Well, let's all give examples of what we've written on our extracurricular essays.
Yes.
Would you girls like to start? Because I've been talking so much.
I mean, for me, I think I had a diverse amount. So, for example, I did some sports, I included that. But I also put being in the student committee in my school, as well as volunteering. So I think there is a big amount of different type of extracurriculars, and I think it doesn't look the same for everybody. So for some people it can be like really student clubs, and for others is taking care of a family member. It can be having very strong hobbies about something. So I think it's a very diverse. To make it short, for me, it was definitely some volunteering and to being part of the student committee in my high school.
Yeah, I think mine was very similar. So I was also involved in quite a few sports. I also played piano, so I included that as well. As I mentioned before, I'm passionate about writing, so I did include that as well. I was also part of the entrepreneurship club in my high school, so I included that as well. Debating, drama, literally the most random co-curriculars. I literally included all of them. So I think as Johanna mentioned, anything that you have been involved in the past, definitely include. If you've done any exchange programs, definitely add that as well. I'm not sure if it goes under co-curriculars, but it definitely does count. So yeah, literally anything you've been involved in high school.
Personally, for me, it was volunteering. A lot. I was part of several organizations. I was part of Amnesty and Lions Clubs International. I volunteered at an elderly house. I did a few sports as well, and participated in MUNs, Model United Nations. That's a very common example. This is something a lot of our applicants do, but my answer might be biased because we also do get the most applicants for politics and international relations, and this is something that they do in high school as they get into that discipline. When it comes to extracurriculars, one thing I'd love to point out is that these don't have to be accomplishments of the sort of I have taken the first place in a national competition in debate, for example, or second or third or 20th for that matter. I have rigorously attended debate club and devoted myself to it with passion. I have failed, I have succeeded a bit. This is what I've learned. This is how I've grown. Is just as good as an example of an extracurricular. People show their personal discipline through having done sports or singing for multiple years in a row. If you haven't done something for multiple years in a row, or simply because your parents didn't sign you up when you were, 10, then show that even a few years back, you've just acquired an intrinsic ambition towards being active. Show us your drive. Show us what attracts you and motivates you and gets you out of bed in the morning, okay? This is what those essays are about. Don't judge yourself too harshly. And now, Parnika, I'm reading your question. Okay, girls, do you want to take that one? Our teachers moving with you,
Yeah.
essentially.
So, I mean, the normal thing is no, teachers don't move with us. There is like teachers stay in the country and doing the courses that they're doing. So all of your classes will be in person. So there is nothing remote. If you need extra support for a specific reason, like maybe you're writing your thesis and would like to have someone, for example, from year one, then this might happen online. But for everything else, all the classes are done in person, and there is a specific fellows per year and per campus.
Yes, I think to add on to that, no, there are no online classes, as mentioned. So, yes, they're all in person in the different cities, different fellows each year. So we call them fellows here at Ford College. And yeah, I think we've covered everything so far.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. And so, yes, extracurriculars from 5 years ago. Why not? If you think it's relevant, go ahead. You have around 4,000 characters however defined. Therefore, do your best, maximize that space, okay, for efficiency. I suggest if you have more recent things to elaborate more deeply on that resonate with you at this moment as an applicant to ask more, that have something to do with, who you are today, then prioritize more recent activities, unless the one from 5 years ago is quite formative to you. Okay, just try to make this list of extracurriculars relevant to your application, meaning it has something to do with the course or who you are today applying for us. And Johanna, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that I think you mentioned it earlier. It's not about saying I had the first award on this. It's really, I think admissions officers, they just want to get to know you and tell them what they need to know about you. So you can decide what's relevant and the story that you want to tell.
Thank you. That you put that quite well. Thank you. At 7 p.m. maybe sometimes it's difficult to make a coherent answer. All right. Yeah, you're very welcome, everyone. Thank you for attending. Thank you. Are there any more questions for us?
Maybe to end, I have a question to both of
Okay.
you. I have a very clear answer, but I would love to know which city was your favorite. For me, it was definitely Lisbon. I love Lisbon. I go to Lisbon at least once per year if I can. I love that city. So I would love to know what about you both.
Oh, that's a very, very hard question. I would have, if you asked me that question last year, I would have said Lisbon, but I experienced Paris and fell in love. And now I want to give Berlin a chance as well because I realize it might surprise me during the summer. So it might end up being Berlin. So let's get back to that after I graduate and I might have a different answer. But for now, oh, that's a really hard question. I really love Lisbon and Paris. I think they had two distinct vibes. Obviously, Lisbon is more sunny by the beach, and then Paris is a bit more laid back, but still touristic and crazy in its own ways. So yeah, I can't pick one. I love both.
I do think, hold on for a moment, because Berlin just might surprise you in the summer. However, even though all three are fantastic, this is a question I get way too often. I've had to decide at some point. Even though all three cities are fantastic, Lisbon is my top choice. And I think partially it comes down to simple chemistry, meaning vitamin D deficiency in Berlin and Paris does not help with thriving. But aside from that, being outdoors and breathing fresh air in this lovely country of Portugal, seeing their stunning, unique architecture, that really made me thrive. I rarely ever wanted to be in my room, even though I loved it there because my family lived there, my family being the cohort. And one other thing is the culture resonated with me personally because I think it's a culture in Portugal that's quite slow paced and it's very content out of principle, as if. It's full of dance and music, and it's most of all peaceful. So throughout the year in Lisbon, I was simply at peace. This is my favorite place, definitely, and I can't wait to get back. All right. Does Forward College help students with visa applications? I've actually not come across this before.
Oh,
Angela.
Angela,
Yes,
you're
I
the
can
best
definitely,
example.
I can definitely talk about that. As I mentioned, I'm Kenyan, and yes, Ford College did help me with the visa application. So if you have any required documentations for the application, so for example, a letter to prove that you're a student at Ford, or to prove that your you've actually got into the university. So like an acceptance letter, anything that the embassy would need, all you have to do is email Ford College and they would definitely assist you with that. So yes, they do help in that aspect.
Okay, thank you very much. I learned from you. And I think if we don't have any more questions, then we're going to finish today's webinar. However, please do keep in mind that there are many ways for you to get in touch with either the staff at Forward College or the students. So thank you. Thank you. All right. It's been great. We appreciate anybody listening.
Thank you, everybody. Super nice to have you here today.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great evening.